Амбасадоре, еве, она што се случи денеска е председателот Пендаровски не прогласи воредна состојба или продолжување на воредната состојба, а лидерот на СДСМ Зоран Заев го предложи 8 јули како датум за избори. Очекувате ли дека реално може да се одржат избори на тој датум со оглед на тоа што опозицијата ВМРО ДПМН не го прифаќа датумот 8 јули, барем начално до сега не се изјасниле за такво нешто?
Well, I listened to President Pendarovski today when he was explaining why he's not prolonging the emergency situation. And he also invited the two leaders for a meeting, because I think he made very good point that leaders need to talk and the leaders need to find a solution. That the best would be if everybody agrees about the date. And I think it's a good gesture from him. So I hope that when they meet, that they will also find a solution. They're not far away. Both, or all parties want elections in July. So it's just a matter to agree on a date, which shouldn't be so difficult, I think.
Со оглед на тоа што велите дека сите партии речиси сакаат избори во јули, значи ли тоа дека не може да се очекува некоја партија или опозицијата да бойкотира избори во јули или во време кога предлага власта?
Commissioner Varelli, when he tweeted, when he called the two leaders, I think he made the point that elections should be free and fair and should be inclusive. Everybody should participate of the elections. People should make the choice, so we don't see the reason for anybody to stay out. Even more so if they find a joint date for the elections.
Она што се очекуваше во оваа недела беше да биде објавена рамката за преговори, меѓутоа доцни, во јавноста барем не ја знаеме, на што се должи доцнењето? Дали може би заради новата методологија, заради реверзибилниот процес кој е воведен со таа методологија, каде запна објавувањето на рамката за преговори?
Yes, we said that negotiating framework, draft negotiating framework commission will propose in June. We are still in June, and I believe that it's a matter of days when the commission will present this draft proposal, which will be a big step, because the next step in our negotiations. Yes, there are still last-minute discussions, which not necessarily affect your country as such, but is more related to the implementation of the new methodology in the negotiating framework. Because this is the new element that was not present in previous negotiations with Serbia and Montenegro. So it's a little more sensitive, and I think that some fine-tuning is still going on in Brussels on that one. But otherwise, the framework is going to come. This is the document that will lead the negotiations. It will contain principles and guidelines, the substance of negotiations, also the procedure of negotiations. But this is a draft that will be presented then to member states. But it is an important document, I think, important step of your country toward European Union.
Можеме ли да очекуваме некакви изненадувања во содржината на рамката за преговори? Што мислите вие? Или е ова како што објаснивте само сега почеток, еден чекор кон преговорите? Може ли Македонија да се изненади од она што би можело таму да биде напишано? Имате ли некакви сознанија за содржината?
I haven't seen the document, so I cannot tell you, but I'm pretty convinced that you will not be surprised when you get the document. The document is based on the documents that were prepared for Serbia and Montenegro, plus they included new elements of this new methodology. So in that sense, it's a bit different than the previous ones, but I don't think that it will be a surprise, that will be a negative surprise. I think it's a good document that will be, of course, still discussed with member states, so it's not yet something that we will present to you. This is Commission presentation to the member states, and they will then finalize the document, which will be then the EU position for negotiations.
Колку Бугарија би можела да влијае на содржината на рамката, со оглед на тоа што сите земји членки треба да се согласат со содржината?
Yes, this is draft document. The final document have to be agreed by all member states. All member states are equal, big or small, all have the same right, and everybody has to agree. So indeed, yes, including Bulgaria will need to give their agreement to the negotiating framework. During discussions with member states, which will take some time, of course, maybe several of them will have some additions or comments. But as I said, the framework needs to be agreed by all, but also any additions and comments and changes need to be agreed by all member states.
Тоа е добро, затоа што не може директно да влие. Меѓутоа, кога би можело да се очекува првата меѓувладина конференција? Неизвестно е колку ќе траат дискусиите во Советот и кога таа би била усвоена.
Yes, it's difficult to say now the date for intergovernmental conference. If we look at if you look at Montenegro and Serbia, discussions went for several months, so we cannot expect that it will be done, very quickly now over the summer. So it will take until the autumn. But as soon as the member states finalize it and agree, then the intergovernmental conference will be called. The presidency, Germany, will chair that conference. And they will present the EU position for negotiations. So I mentioned Germany because we expect that it's going to be done in the second half of the year when Germany is presiding European Union.
Сепак Македонија е пред избори, долго време функциониравме непредвидено со техничка влада. Колку земјава би била подготвена кога ќе биде позната рамката за почеток на преговори, затоа што некако се изгуби време и плюс со корона ситуацијата и корона кризата. Не работеше ниту администрацијата, работеа од дома.
I think it's a very good point because it's not only us, the European Union, who needs to prepare for negotiations. It's also, and precisely your country will have to prepare for negotiations. I said already several times that these are really negotiations where you need to defend your positions, especially in the business, especially in agriculture, where you will ask for concessions, where you will ask for grace periods, where you will ask to protect your economy for a certain time. So you need to be well prepared. Elections are done by politicians. There is no reason why institutions shouldn't start preparing, positioning positions, negotiating positions. And then, of course, when you have a new government, when you have a new parliament, when you then you finalize negotiating positions, because it's not only the government that will negotiate. This really needs to be everybody, the whole nation needs to be on board. I think Parliament has an important role, civil society has an important role, trade unions, Chamber of Commerce, they all have important role in negotiations. You're right, you have structures in place. Chief negotiator was appointed, technical negotiator was appointed, so I believe that they already started preparing. So when the new government comes, whenever that is, they will then probably speed up and finalize preparations.
Звучите многу оптимистички дека и покрај тоа што би се променила владата има администрација која тоа го работи, меѓутоа мислите ли дека навистина Македонија има толку одделена администрација дури и за овој тим на преговарачи или тим на кој што работи на почетокот на преговорите и подготовката за преговори, кој што навистина би можел без оглед на тоа кој ќе дојде на власт да биде подготвен за преговорите?
I hope so. It should be like this because membership in European Union is a national priority, a strategic goal of your country. Everybody puts it as a big priority, no matter who wins in the elections. I don't expect that this priority would change. And the people who will be negotiating, they should be experts. You don't need politicians to negotiate. Maybe, you know, at the top you have a politician who is conducting official meetings, but otherwise you need experts who prepare the positions, and that shouldn't be of this party or the other party. It should be of North Macedonia. It should be of the country for the country. And that's why I hope that when you have new institutions, maybe one of the first things should be to come together around this national goal. It should hopefully help reunite the country, you know, reconnect the country, which seems to be very divided for quite some time already. But maybe that goal can help you come closer and run for the same goal.
Тие поделби, за жал, мислам дека се одразија и на состојбата со корона кризата. За жал, интервјуто го правиме во ден кога бројот на заразени никако не паѓа под 100. Дали сметате дека Македонија би излегла од кризата доколку навистина се направи некоја стабилна влада, бидејќи дури оваа состојба на криза и техничката влада која што функционира за цело време покажа дека пржинската влада во вакви кризни ситуации не успеа да направи целосна контрола, за жал?
Well, I definitely believe that you need the real I mean, the full power government and the parliament. I mean, you are without the parliament since February, so it's really several months. You've had emergency situation for 3 months, so that's not good for the country. It's not good for democracy either if the government functions without any control in a way. So from that point, I see the urgency of having elections and get the full functioning government, full functioning parliament, and all institutions. Indeed, I think that your institutions managed well with the crisis. I mean, the measures that they took were the same measures that countries in Europe were taking. When you look at the medical staff, you also see that they're very dedicated, the same as the medical staff around the world. Where I see maybe the difference is the commitment of people to respect the rules and instructions. I think that that's where maybe the difference came with, let's say, Slovenia, where I'm coming from.
Да, што е разликата помеѓу Словенија која веќе 1 месец е без мерки и таму корона кризата заврши и овде во Македонија? Дали е само однесувањето на луѓето, нереспектирањето можеби на институциите и властите кои повикуваат на мерки, или е едноставно тоа е менталитет?
But I was thinking, how come? Because the same size of population, the first peak we had the same, you know, up to 1,000, similar number of deaths. Everything was very similar, and then we were going down, but then Slovenia continued to go. While here it was the second wave. I think there are 2 things. First, I think that the virus came to your country 2 weeks after Slovenia and after most of Europe. And everything then was with a 2-week delay. But when Slovenia and the rest of the countries in Europe started relaxing, I think people here also started relaxing, and maybe they're starting relaxing too early. I think that probably led to the second peak. And the second issue is what you mentioned, and probably is a big difference, and which is in general the problem in the country, not respect for the rules, not respect of the rule of law. I think it's a part of mentality, it seems, and that's why this is going to be the most difficult part of negotiations, because there will be a need to change the mentality. A rule is a rule, and you have to respect it. It doesn't apply only to others, it applies to you as well. And I think this showed during the corona that is something that the country needs to work on.
И за крај да не ги обвинуваме само жителите на земјава, колку пак политичарите беа виновни за кокетирањето можеби и со верските заедници или недоволно носењето на поостри мерки во дадени ситуации, плашејќи се да не се одрази тоа на гласачкото тело за изборите.
I don't know. It's difficult. I think it's difficult to speculate what was the reason that contributed to the second wave. Maybe something we don't even know. I wouldn't put blame on politicians. I think the measures that you took were the right measures at the right time, and the same as in other countries. I think was relaxing too soon in the minds of people, seeing Europe opening up, and then automatically starting to relax yourself as well. Maybe that was the reason. But you know, I'm not an expert. I'm an observer like you are. Probably some experts from medical staff can explain the whole situation. But I wouldn't put blames on politicians.
Ви благодарам, амбасадоре, на овој интервју.
Thank you.